I'd like to talk about the real reasons to stay away from a broke man. Often women are, sometimes you have the right idea, but you've come to the correct conclusion for the wrong reasons. And it turns out that the reasons are important. You don't stay away from a broke man because he can't buy you Chanel, Gucci, or Louis. You don't stay away from a broke man because he can't, impress your friends and family on holidays and Valentines. You stay away from a broke man because of what his poverty teaches you about his character. And know that when I say a broke man, I'm not talking about the fact that his income may be non existent or meager today. A broke man is one who is consistently broke and has been such for a significant amount of time. And I'd say a significant amount of time would be like 4 months. If you've been dealing with a guy and he's been low income or no income or unemployed for 4 months, then he is the problem. And if he's a dreamer and refuses to get a practical job to bring in some money, he is the problem. And this is not the idea of you not being supportive, but rather this is the idea of you getting a man who can get the job done. You see, the problem is that sometimes guys will sell you dreams and you buy them. The truth is, if you get a man who's very wealthy, that doesn't necessarily mean that your lifestyle is going to take an enormous change. That may mean that you enjoy some of the things that he's been accustomed to, but that might not necessarily come with the Hermes bag and all of the nonsense. Part of that man getting wealthy is him having discernment and making wise decisions. And there's no doubt that a Chanel bag is not a wise decision, even though the marketers have told you that an Hermes bag is not a purchase, it's an investment. No, actually, it's just a purchase of a very expensive bag, and you've been brainwashed by marketing. But the reason I want to talk to you guys about broke men, or broke males, rather, men are not broke. A man may be unemployed. A man may, for a time, have a low income, but a man is not broke. A man may be in transition. A man may be executing on a master plan. A man is not broke. It's the broke boys you have to avoid. And you should be able to tell them by their characteristics. They may be video gamers. They may have addiction to adult content. They may be obsessed with anime, which is cartoons. These are things that may give you a sense of their deficiency. It's not to say that you're a bad person or incompetent if you like anime, video games. Certainly the adult content is a red flag. But if they binge or indulge too much in those things when they're not in the proper season for such, you see, there's a season for all things. If they're taking a break or a vacation, but they've not worked, that's a problem. You see, vacations are for after you've worked. You're supposed to earn your vacation. And if a man is taking his vacation on you, meaning it's all on you, he's vacationing because of your finances, then something is problematic. And there are too many women who say to themselves, you know what, I'm a loyal woman. I'm going to stick by this man. Well, do stick by a man, but you're dealing with a boy. If he's not able to figure something out in the space of 4 months, it's at 120 days, that's quite a few days. And if you observe him and he's not constantly at work, constantly putting in job applications, tinkering on a business, doing marketing, networking in an effective, meaningful way, if he's not really getting after it with a level of intensity that makes you admire and respect him even while he's unemployed or low income, he's not the one. He's not a man. He's probably a broke boy. And that's okay. Let those guys be incels. Do not drag yourself down because you're wasting your time. And more importantly, if you encounter a man who's worthwhile, he may not ask you your body count. He may not even ask you about the last guy that you dated. But if he were to see the guy or come to have knowledge of that man, and that man is too far down, bro might leave you. Because a man who is successful, he wants the finer things. He wants the things that everyone can't have. And if you've been dealing with guys who are lowlifes, then it shows that you are not exclusive. You are not sought after. You are not hard to get. You are accessible to pretty much anybody. And the truth of the matter is, women need to use various metrics to assess a man's seriousness. You should have a serious man, especially if he's low income or broke. He should be serious about getting his bag together, and he should be pursuing that with life or death intensity. Huh? So the idea that your man is working on something, he's going to become a streamer, he's going to become a basketball player, or he's, training to get this certificate, whatever the case is, within reasonable time. For example, you have people who, think of a good example for you guys. You have some guys go the traditional route. They get a liberal arts education, they go to university, get a degree. Completing a university degree is not an indicator that the guy's intelligent or smart. It's an indicator that he is hardworking enough and he's responsible enough. He's been consistent over time. If you're dating a guy who's a high school dropout or a college dropout, that doesn't mean he's dumb, but that might mean he lacks some other critical qualities that you need to build a family on. Consistency, focus, the ability to complete things. And you need to weigh all of that up because it all matters. Because remember, ladies, you're stepping into a lifetime contract. And if you break the contract, you may think you can go back out on the dating marketplace. But I assure you, your baby daddy will be the best man you'll ever get. That's just the facts. And furthermore, know that if the new guy that you're dealing with finds out that you've been dealing with slackers, it's probably going to be a turnoff. I know it's a turnoff to me. I know that I don't want to deal with a woman who is dealing with a lame because it means she's lame. Birds of a feather flock together. It means she's lame if she was dealing with a lame. Huh? So I'm not suggesting that you be a gold digger. In fact, I despise gold diggers. You don't go to a man for what he has materially. You go to a man for what he is. And at times, your material existence is an expression of what you are. Yes? You know a man by his works. Yes, his work pays him. Yes, his works can be seen. They are visible. And that's not the full measure of a man, but it's a basic requirement. A man being financially solvent and being a good allocator of capital is a basic requirement. That's not why you're with him. That's just something for him to get in the door. And if you fail to choose men who are not broke, which is to say they are in fact men, if you fail to do that, ladies, it's only an expression of how little you think of yourself. It's a representation of you being a self-saboteur. And let me also, while we're talking about men and money, let me be very honest and straightforward to let you all know that I don't want you to engage the world like a woman who sells her body. You're not selling yourself, and thereby you should not be asking a man for money. You should not be relying on a man for money and provision until you are his woman. Yes? So I use the word rely. Know that the idea of a man paying your bills is not something that a respectable woman knows anything about. Your bills. Respectable women don't have bills. Yes? Yeah, a respectable woman ideally is going to live with her father. And then when she leaves the home of her father, she'll go into the home of her husband. She doesn't have bills. You should show up to a man debt-free, and you should show up to a man ready to contribute. And also know this, with regards to your spending, you should always be looking to be thrifty. You should be looking at the money that he's allocating is our money. Now, how do we save money so that we can have a good life? Because remember this, and this is a really important gem, ladies. I want you to pay attention to this piece right here. You might look at a guy and say, wow, you're really spending on yourself. Now, remember, before he met you, he was spending on himself for however many years he's had an income. Me, I've been working and earning since I was 8 years old. True story. So the man's been spending on himself his whole life. You are in addition to his life. Yes? This is not to say you shouldn't get anything. You absolutely should, especially if you're a good woman doing your job. But you are a new expense, and there's probably a number of expenses that you don't even see, of course, that are additional because of your existence. But know that That's an adjustment for a man. And just have some like grace as things transition, because you're a new aspect of his budget. And theoretically, unless he's a rich man, and even if he is a rich man, sometimes you think a man's rich, he's not rich. Sometimes you think he's middle class, he's lower class, or vice versa. Just know that you don't know. That's the important part. He takes you on, his expenses increase fundamentally, and then you, of course, may additionally want gifts and things like that. Just know that those are new and greater expenses. It's even more of an expense than when you were dating, because dates occur periodically. Now that you're living with him, you're getting dates plus vacations plus travel plus all the basics covered. So it's a lot more expensive. That takes time to transition and to figure that out. Have some understanding, and also know that hopefully you didn't show up for the purpose of the things you could not afford before you had him. So ideally, you're dealing with a man for his merit, not to make a jump up in economic class. And I would tell you that I'm talking to women who make an effort to be obedient. I'm talking to women who make an effort to build a beautiful family. I'm not talking to unruly women. I'm not talking to promiscuous women, and I'm not talking to gold diggers. Those are three categories of women that I do not believe are ever going to be suitable wife mothers. I view them as concubines largely. So just know that if you are promiscuous, and my definition of promiscuity is that you are not engaging physically with a man solely for the purpose of building a family. If you're not looking at the guy like, I think I can build a family with you, then you are promiscuous. In terms of being obedient, you view the man as the highest authority, not the government, not your pastor, not your father. This man you choose to be with is your highest authority. You never utilize child support or the government against him. He's the highest authority. Unruly, you're the woman who's disobedient, and you have an opinion all the time, and you think that you're going to run the program. Those women I'm not talking to. I'm talking to women who are exercising a level of humility and who are serious about building families with men as the leader and being a wife mother. That's what I'm talking to. If you have any comments or questions, ladies and men, feel free to put those in the description of the video. Give me one sec. Let me see. Where are we at? Where's the time? Okay, fantastic. Great. And if you guys like this video and this kind of content, you have any comments or questions, you can use rizdem.com, rizdem.com/Marquette Devon. That's MarquettDavon, and share your questions or comments with me directly, and you'll get a guaranteed response there. Also, if you appreciate this, definitely hit the like button, hype it up if you can, and you can. And you can also use the super thanks feature down below. Until next time, peace to the saints.